Hello, my name is Clive Mukundu. I'm a Zimbabwean guitarist and music producer. I basically produce Afrocentric music and also some roots reggae music. So in this episode, I'm going to break down the production process that I used to create this rhythm. This rhythm, I created it and then I gave it to different artists. I gave it to Jacob, who is in Denmark. I gave it to Potato, who is in Zimbabwe. And then lastly, I gave it to Bongo Ride from South Africa. So of all these artists, the first one to release a song on the rhythm was Bongo Ride from South Africa. So he called the song Birth Control. So I'm going to call it Birth Control Rhythm because I didn't have a name for the rhythm. So what I did first is I came up with the chord progression, of which it was it was in the key of F. So I started with the 2, which is a G minor. Then I went to the 5, which is a C. Then I went to the 6, which is a D minor. So that's the chord progression I used on the song. So I started with the chord progression first, and then I started thinking of the tempo and the groove. So the next thing that I created was the drum pattern. For the drums, I used the Reason to program the drums. I programmed the kick, I programmed the hi-hats, but for the rim, I used my own loop because I wanted to sound live with some variations. And for the drum rolls, I also created some loops with the different drummers because I didn't want to program the drums because I didn't want them to sound artificial. So I used the proper live drummers. I told them what to play, and then I created some loops which I can manipulate to fit in any tempo. So here's the drum pattern. So that was the drum pattern. Then the next thing that I added was some percussion. Like I said, I used some percussion loops. And the loops that I used, I created the loops with Adam Chisho and Othno Mangoma Moyo. So this is the percussion that I used on the track. After the percussion, I created the bass line. And for reggae, you need to create a very simple melodic bass line. And this is what I created for the bass. Then the next thing that I created was the mute guitar. So I will be playing the exact notes that I would have played on the bass, but with the lead guitar that is muted. It's very common with reggae music. So this is how it sounded. So you can tell there's some high frequencies on the bass. They're coming from the muted guitar. Then the next thing that I added was the chops. Tap, 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 tap. So what I did is I played the piano and I played the guitar. Then I added another loop that I created for the chops. Is that it brings out some percussiveness to the chop. Like I explained before, if you listen to Bob Marley's Tear It Up, there's a checka, that is very percussive. I created a loop for that, and this is how the chop sounded like. Yes, I want my chop to be very rich and very full. So that's the chop. Then to accompany the chop, there's that that keyboard that accompanies the chop. In Zimbabwe, we call it the shuffle organ. I don't know what other people call it. So here's how it sounded. Okay, then the next thing that I added was the lead guitar. This time I didn't wait for the vocals to be added, because this was a rhythm that I was just going to give to different people. So what I just made sure was I wasn't going to complicate the guitar, so that it won't interfere with any lead vocals that would be added to the rhythm. So here's the lead guitar. Okay, then the next thing that I added was the clavichord. A clavichord was very much used by people like Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Jack Ure. There's a track that he did, I think is the cover for All of Me. Used a lot of that sound. Here's how it sounded. It almost sounds like a frog. And then the next thing that I added was the sax melody. I wanted one instrument to stand out, sort of like to give the identity, to be the principal melody of the song. Because such instruments, they give an identity to the song. So I created that. Anyway, here's how it sounds like. So that's the sax melody. I played it on the keyboard. Then the next thing, I wanted to put an identity to identify that it's Mono who created this rhythm. So I created a loop that I chopped off from. I did a song with Gaspi Ore, as a Zimbabwean dancehall artist. So there's a portion where he would shout Mono. So I cut the mono and then I made it into a loop. So as the song plays, you hear the mono in the background. After a few seconds, mono. So it's a way of putting my fingerprint on the song so that you know it's me who did the song. Okay, here's how it sounds like. Yeah, so after putting my identity to the song, I mixed and mastered it, and then I gave it to 3 artists. So the first one to release it was Bongo Riot from South Africa. So this is his version.
How did that testament this by Bongo Riot? The dancehall Wakanda. All the way from Watama Springs, 1575. Deep level. Judgment in the age. But a radar fire ban back control. Ban their injection of prevention, busy killing job creation. Ban back control. Ban them abortion. Ban fornication. Radar fire ban back control. Ban it from high and low down places.
So Bongo Riot is based in South Africa, so we had to work over the internet, and he sent me his vocals. Then I called in Nicola Mtua to do the back vocals. So that's a Zimbabwean-South Africa collaboration, Pan-Africanism, African unity. So after Bongo Riot, I had given the track before to Potato, but he released it later than Bongo Riot. So that's why I decided to give the song the title Birth Control after Bongo Riot's its version. So this is Potato. version.
Where is the Bible? It's back to the back. Some of the original Mukundu as we enter Monolio Studios. Respect to the back. Some of the back. I want to hear you. Here's the skills.
Munondi wengereiko Mosha yangu geipiko Munondi makireiko Makayanda kapara ipapiko Nite chakaneka Apana no shibona Apana no shirumbita.
So Potato is the dancehall artist who used to work with Andy Brown. If you listen to Mapurisa, Zindoga, and the other tracks, is one of the pioneers of Zimbabwean dancehall. So he's the one who did that version. And then the third version that I did with Musafa King is another very good. You must watch out for that guy. He's a very good Zimbabwean reggae artist. He's got a proper roots reggae feel. So he did a version for Terence Mapurisana. Terence Mapurisana is one of the top DJs in Zimbabwe who broadcasts a reggae program on one of Zimbabwe radio stations. So this is the version by Musafa King for Terence Mapurisana.
You want some more? You feeling irate? Yeah, I feel that too. You feeling irate? Yeah. Come on, write it down.
This is Musafa King. Watipamuka nawe kuchamba ngoma woyo pa classic 263 wakapaka tachimuta kuita ninga futi boris Terence Mapurisana. Watipamuka nawe kuchamba ngoma.
Okay, so the introduction on that song was done by Manix Motis, one of the top Zimbabwean reggae vocalists. He was trained by Transit Crew. Transit Crew is a top Zimbabwean reggae band. It has trained a lot of artists in Zimbabwe. Then the fourth person that I gave the rhythm to was Denmark-based reggae artist called Jacob. But he hasn't released his version yet, so I cannot play it right now because it's not been released yet. So basically that's the production process that I did to create this rhythm. And thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you on the next episode.